Do you want to know what sells well at Sunflower Sprouts? Do you have kids stuff in every corner of your house? Do you think it's possible to make hundreds of dollars selling your kids stuff that they're not even using anymore? On this podcast, you're going to learn about the amazing world of consignment and how it can bring value to your family. You might be here because you want to make some money. You might be here because you want to save some money. We're here to help you transition to the next season and the next size. Today is Tuesday, June 3rd. That's right. It's June 2025. And today we're talking about, sorry guys, what sold well spring of 2025. So that's what's coming up today as we talk and tag with Sunflower Sprouts. But first, let's unbox. If you're just finding us, my name is Jen Stickle. I am the owner of the largest consignment sale in Western Pennsylvania with 2 locations, one in Pittsburgh, one in Erie. And I like to unbox things. That's what I like to do. I like to open things on the internet. Toys, specifically. So today I have, this is not on silent. I'm all by myself today at the house, guys. What is this? A surprise plush. I don't even remember where I got it. I don't remember what it cost me. Not very helpful today. I know I've had it for a while though. So also, what I love about this one is that the trash turns into a scene where you can play in. Anyways, so today, it's June. We made it through May. That's amazing. Forget what I was just gonna say. Oh yeah, see, I like this one because the trash is usable. So today, oh look, it's like a little stingray. He's cute. He's really cute. Here's my wish list, and here's my toy. Like I can play. I love it. I love it. All right. That was kind of fast today, which is okay because we're going to get to it. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. I am all by myself today at home because, he's rare. I got a rare one, you guys. His name is Mickey. And he's super rare. So that's exciting. It's fun to find the rare pulls. So he's going to hang out here in the little ocean while we chit chat about what sold well this spring. So it's June. And my 2 big kids are in Jamaica this week on a mission trip. So if you could pray for them, that would be fabulous. They're having a blast. I'm assuming. I've only sort of heard from them. I don't actually hear from them. I hear from the people who are chaperoning it through the WhatsApp. And my 3 littles are still in school this week. This is their last week of school. And so that just leaves me home with Matt, my middle guy. And it's been so nice. I get to spend the whole week with him. And so yesterday we hung out. We actually went back down to the Red Door, which is where we were last week with Sunflower Sprouts. We fed them Chick-fil-A sandwiches because with all the money we raised at our sale, over $2,000. So that was phenomenal. So anyways, it's a nice little quiet week here in the Stickle house. So I'm loving it. So I'm here all by myself. So, all right. Hi, Tara. It was good to see Tara this weekend. We kicked off summer up at the Erie Playhouse. We did their summer kickoff live event. We got to sponsor that event. And they had like just a bunch like face painting and a bunch of the therapy dogs were there. And the hot dog cart. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. I forget their name. Their pierogies were amazing. We had some of those. So we went up to hang out. And then they did like 3 little shows, like kind of sneak peeks, kind of like, hey, remember when? And they did some solo acts. The event was really well done. So shout out to the Playhouse for that. But then one of my dear friends' son got the scholarship. So that was a super fun surprise. So it was so nice to be up there with the Playhouse this weekend and see Tara. It was a great weekend. So it was so fun to be up in Erie with all of you. So that was great. All right. So today we're going to talk about what sold well, our top 10 items. We ran the numbers. The top 10 items that sold in Pittsburgh and in Erie. And then I'm also going to do the bottom 10. And then we're going to talk about a couple of other things that, what do we call them? Like honorable mentions. That's what they're called. Okay. So, and then I also want to explain the numbers. So let's explain what I'm about to show you. So, our consigners do the tagging and we just do the reporting. That's all we do. So I have an example. Let me show you actually. Okay. So let's pull this up. Um, let's make it look like this. So there was a kitchen helper. You know, these new things, they're like wooden and it's basically a glorified step stool that has a top so that the kids don't they can stand at the counter, they can help in the kitchen and they don't fall off of it. Those sell phenomenal at our sale. Like they both sold immediately at once. And so the tricky thing about those two, one of them at least, I didn't double check the other one because I was looking at pictures the other day. The one was tagged in the category that it was tagged in was miscellaneous. So I can't really report on, all I can do is pull a report as to how the miscellaneous category did. Okay. So what we've never really tried to figure out is how accurate our consigners are because you can't really measure that. And basically all that means is when a consigner goes in and makes a tag, they do. So if you've never heard of us or sold with us before, all of our consigners who are the people who sell with us, they go in and make their tags in the computer and they get to decide what category they're going to tag their item. So they could say this is a shoe and it's actually a stuffed animal. They can say that this is a size 15 and it doesn't even have a size. And so there is a significant room for human error in this process. But that being said, we can definitely still look at the numbers and make some generalizations, right? And some general conclusions as to what sold and what didn't sell. And then there's always the weird ones, right? And then there's the outliers. So like, for example, this season, high chairs didn't do as well, where in past seasons, they've been our number one seller. So again, this isn't hard, fast. I just want to have that disclaimer before we enter into this podcast. These aren't hard, fast rules, but there are definitely general trends that we see season to season to season, right? So a lot of our high chairs sell every season. You know what I mean? Are they going to sell, number one every season? No, they're not. And then it also depends too. A huge part of how this all works and has to do with the economy and how people are pricing their items. So right now, what we're seeing is that a lot of our consigners are pricing a little bit higher than normal because they need the cash, right? So anyways, that's just a couple of observations that we're making. Good morning, Jen. And just some things to kind of hold sacred as we move into this conversation. So just let's start with Pittsburgh. We're going to start with Pittsburgh. Erie is way harder to look at. The numbers, they kind of make some sense. They kind of don't make sense. And I'll explain a little bit more about that later. Remember, I've been doing this for a really long time. And so I'm going to just kind of explain to you why some of the numbers, like for example, in the Erie top 10 is boys socks. I mean, it's what the numbers tell us, right? And remember, while socks might have sold well, I think I have an idea of why it happened. But we're also dealing with smaller numbers in Erie. And so that definitely skews the statistics when you just look at smaller samples, right? Okay, so let's talk about Pittsburgh first. Overall, in Pittsburgh, we sold 76% of the active items in their inventory. Now, remember, we're running a report for just the categories and just the active tags. But sometimes somebody brings in an item and this guy has an active tag, right? He has a tag that's active in the system and then they don't leave it at Sunflower Sprouts for some reason. And so it never even gets an opportunity to sell. It's a very small percentage, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands we sold 76% of the active tags in Pittsburgh this season. This is amazing. I mean, I'm trying, not to be humble, not to be boastful or toot my own horn, but toot. This is, above industry standard. So our goal is always 70%. And we've been pleasantly watching this number grow as we've owned this company. and trying our best to to keep this number as high as possible for our consigners. You're never going to sell 76% of your stuff at a garage sale. You're not going to do it. So this is just a phenomenal number. We're super proud of it. And it actually came in at 75.8 to be fully transparent with you, but I'm a business owner, so I round up. Now, one of the things I want to mention before we even move to the top 10 is you'll see the 6 over 10 number. 6 of the 10 items on the top 10 list come from this floor right here. The toy room is where it's at, right? A significant amount of our items sold leave the toy room, right? Now we're going to have a whole, just so you guys know, if you have not heard, in the fall, we are expanding to the 3rd soccer field. Okay. So in Pittsburgh. And so all of the toys and this whole room that you're staring at in this picture, they're going to go to the soccer field that we've never used before. And then this soccer field is going to become, we're trying not to call it the baby room because it's going to be everything else. So the backpacks are going to be in there. Home decor is going to be in there. The DVDs are actually, we're still talking about the DVDs. They might go with books, but books are staying on this soccer field. And the toys are moving to the other one. So, my point is, this is the stuff right here that sells so well. The toys sell amazing. We don't have like a general toy category, which makes it really kind of tough. So we can't we like puzzles is its own category, books is its own category, and each of the things up the center aisle, kitchens, ride-on toys, push toys, racetracks, they're all their own categories. So it's kind of hard to kind of just say blanket, but I can tell you that of the top 10 items that we're going to go over next, 6 of them are from this room. Okay. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to spoil alert. The most sold item at Pittsburgh, it's a weird one this season. Okay. And I'll explain why. So let's get to it. So number 10 is, I have to pull this up because it's a little harder for me to see. Let's get this guy. Where is he? Oh, he's over here. There he is. Boop, boop, boop. Let's just move him over here. Okay. Number 10 is the ride-on toys. Okay. And this is a tricky one because this right here is an example of a ride-on toy. So you might see, the Power Wheels and things like that. Those normally all sell at our sale. There was one season where we had a Power Wheel. It sold late into discount day, but most of them sell. But the other thing that would be a ride-on toy, is, and it gets confusing to make sure that they're tagging them correctly, is like something that you can sit and ride, like for toddlers. But what we're talking about here with number 10 are these Power Wheels, these ride-on toys that are large. They're normally in the front of the building and they normally hit they normally sell first. It's the socials. They hit the socials. We're normally taking pictures of these. We've had a Minnie Mouse car. We've had a, I think this season there was like a Paw Patrol power thing. I don't know. It was cool. So anyways, number 10, that sold, that sold at 88% of our ride-on toys, 200 and see, this is why it's weird, right? There are 194 of the 220 sold. We didn't have 220 of these little guys here, but so it just depends on how our consigners are tagging. But ride-on toys are super, super popular sellers. Okay, our number 9 comes from the garage and the outdoor, and this is our large outdoor toys. Okay. This should make a ton of sense to you. We sold 119 of the 136, which is an 88% sell-through rate of the large outdoor toys. The reason is because it's our spring sale. Now, these do great in the fall, don't get me wrong, but the water tables sold out. The slides sold out. We had a couple of teeter-totters in the back, and then we had like the ones that look like a crocodile. So all of the outdoor stuff sold because we're about to spend a bunch of time outdoors. So this makes complete sense that coming in at number 9 is large outdoor toys. There's some more of the outdoor toys that we had on the floor. Those are those little crocodiles. All right, coming in at number 8, again, comes from the garage and outside, and these are our bikes and tricycles. Bikes sell so well at our sale, especially if they're in great condition. Bikes are a great investment. They have a long shelf life. They will make it through multiple children. Ours happened to be up at the bike store. If you, just as a little shout out that is not sponsored, if you live in Zillia or Cranberry area or anywhere up here in the North Hills, there's a phenomenal bike shop in Zillionople, Pennsylvania. He's great. He's a small business. And every single season we take our bikes up there and he tunes them. He pumps up the tires. He fixes the brakes. Could we do all that? No, honestly, I don't know how to do anything. I don't know how to fix the brakes on my kid's bike. Probably know how to add air to the tire, but it's just been something that we've done every single spring. And then it just sets up our kids for success for their bikes all summer long. So I recommend that you take your bikes up there. Okay, so bikes and trikes, again, these are something that they're worth investing, they're worth buying. And then the thing is they grow out of them. So bikes are for certain heights. If your kids are teeny tiny, you might not know this yet. You might remember it from your childhood, but as your kid gets taller, they need new bikes, and the bike does not, and the bike outlasts the kid. So this is one of the reasons they sell so well at our sale. Okay, coming in at number 7 is strollers. I am super, super proud of our stroller department. This season, we had a Duna on the floor. If you don't know what that is, Google it. It's amazing. It's a stroller car seat combo that makes me want to have a 7th child. It's amazing. And so the Duna was on the floor this season. That was so excited. The Duna retails for almost $500. It was on our sale floor for $300 and sold on Sunday. Phenomenal piece of it's really cool. So it's a great, again, strollers outlive our kids' use. And so you need different strollers for different seasons in your lives. We did a podcast before the season started with Erica at Fit for Mom. If you want to know all things strollers, go check out that podcast in our YouTube archive. It's phenomenal because it talks about like different strollers for different phases in life. And so the point of this is that strollers are expensive and you normally need more than one in your career as a mom. And so getting them at Sunflower Sprouts is just it's just so great because you can pay less than retail for the different needs that you have, whether you have a second child or you need an umbrella stroller, or where are you going and what kind of stroller do you need for that? So strollers are such a great thing to buy used because, like I said, they don't wear and tear very quickly. They're a great item to invest in. Strollers sell amazing. Strollers continue to be in our top 10 every single season, no matter what. So we sold 86 of the 97 at an 89% sell-through rate. So that was phenomenal. So strollers did very, very well. Also, you'll notice that we've started to rope our strollers. So it just keeps them more secure and make sure everybody is behaving. Okay, coming in at number 6 comes out of the bedroom. Oh, yay. Heather sold her stroller this season and was so glad to get it out of her house and see it in a new home. That is the great thing. Okay, coming in at number 6 comes out of the bedroom. These are baby gates. This department is the bane of my existence. If I didn't have to sell baby gates, I wouldn't, but no, I'm only half kidding. They're just so hard to display. But one of the reasons that baby gates sell so well is because of pets. I'm not kidding you. Most of the people who come and buy the baby gates, they don't necessarily have a second or third child, but instead they have a puppy. And so this is one of the reasons that the baby gates sell so well. We did get new end caps thanks to my friend Rick, who built me 2 end caps to kind of hold the baby gates upright. We're still continuing to work on that. They're a very heavy product. But yeah, they're great. And so I remember Gate World. It's what we called it when we lived in Gate World. It's a season of your life. I say embrace it. Give the kids the freedom to have a little bit of the house to move around in freely, and give yourself some peace of mind that you've created this space within Gate World in your home. That's like, this is the safe area for the kids. I will tell you, I no longer live in Gate World. But I will tell you, I do have friends coming this summer and I always get a baby gate because it just makes it easier for them to bring their kids to my house because I don't live in Gate World anymore and my house isn't as baby proofed as it used to be. And so That's one of the other reasons we sell baby gates. So that's number 6. Coming in at number 5 comes out of the bath, and this is our potties. I think this is also hysterical. It's been a while since the potties have been in the top 10, but they came in at number 5 this season. We did have someone ask in our seller support group. So if you sell with us, we have a closed private Facebook group that you can join where we answer all your questions. And the question this season was, can we sell potties? Because that seems a little gross. But guys, they clean up. They're made of plastic. They don't hold germs. Germs cannot live on plastic. They can live on porous surfaces, and they can live on fabrics and things like that, but they cannot live. So a little bit of Clorox wipe, bleach, that kind of stuff. Potties can come clean. Potties can be reused. We actually, most of you know I'm a boy mom. I have 5 boys and 1 girl. And when we potty trained the girl, I'll potty train boys for days. Okay. When we were potty training the boys, we lived on 10 acres in the middle of nowhere. Super easy. They'd walk out the front door, they'd pee. It was awesome. No big deal. They were peeing off the deck. It was like a non-issue for us. We trained then. And then when we had to move into a neighborhood, the first conversation we had to have with the boys is, hey guys, we can't pee in public around other people. So super funny. We had to explain to them like the rules. It was hysterical. Now, that being said, we did have a girl in the mix. She was number 2, is number 2. And we had a car potty. And so this was not one of these bigger potties, but just one of the littler potties, like not the one that actually looks like a toilet. I don't think you can see my mouse. But it was just a smaller portable one. And we would keep it in the car, and then we just put a bag inside of the inside. And then and then we filled it with tissues or baby wipes. And so there was never an issue. There was never a spillage. It was such a game changer. And so that's my pro mom tip today is a car potty. So if you're I have a friend who's having a girl. My sister-in-law is having a girl. So maybe I should get her a car potty for the baby shower. I have 2 more baby showers coming up this summer. They're both for her. And then I think I'm going to do my series on baby registries and baby showers and give the real dirt. I'm not really sure because I'm still trying to develop exactly like all my thoughts. But ooh, thanks, Heather. Heather's a car potty person too. It really is a game changer. It really is. And it is not disgusting. I mean, okay. But pee is not like, okay, let's not go there. All right. Coming in at number 4 from the furniture department is the rocking chairs and gliders. Now, I don't understand. It says here that we sold 11 of the 12, coming in at 92%. I remember there being 2. I even circled them here. I bought one of them. So for those of you who don't know, one of the things that I sometimes do, I do at most sales, is I buy a rocker in Pittsburgh. I sit in it all week long behind the cash registers because it's a long week. I sit in it all week long. I actually took a nap in it this season. I actually took a nap at Sunflower Sprouts, like literally fell asleep in the glider. I put it in the back. I faced the wall. For those of you who don't know, I was sick this season. This is the first season I've been like sick. And so I was just wiped out. So I took a nap I bought it. I buy the glider on day 1. I put it in the back. I sleep in it. I sit in it. I relax. And then I take it to Erie and I sell it in Erie. And it's sold. I sold at the same price. I'm not about making money. I just need somewhere to sit comfortable all week long. So anyways, I bought one of these 2 rocking chairs, gliders. And so I know that at least I bought one of them, but I do not remember there being a 12 on the floor. So sometimes, again, they're mistagged, right? Or there's like a little chair. And so we can talk with consigners about the tagging mistakes that are common. And one of them is forgetting to change the category. So again, as it's just this disclaimer, the consigners do the tagging. I just do the reporting. So, all right, coming in at number 3 are play yards. Now, the reason I don't have a photograph of these is because these take up a lot of space on the floor, and they don't actually get set up until later in the sale. This is really tricky for us. There was just one that got recalled. And so we were making sure that none of those were on the floor. But then in addition to that, we have a rule, a hard rule where everything needs to be set up unless it's brand new in box manufacturer steel, not broken. And the reason we need it all set up is so that people know that all the parts are there. And play yards is one of those, like, you want to make sure you have all the pulls that go in the fabric thing, or it's not, you're not going to sell it. You're going to be not quick to buy it if you don't know all the parts are there. So we didn't have a lot of pictures of these because when we take pictures, they're not set up. So we try to set them up a little bit later in the sale. And then that's actually when they start to sell. They don't sell very well until we start to open them and put them up. But these are tricky, and they're kind of phenomenal. There was actually one in Erie, and I was live. If you go back and watch the big reveal in Erie, which you're not going to want to do, I was joking that because they're my favorite reels, but you buy one of these play yards. It's probably, I don't know, 6x6, 7x7, and they might be 8x8. And what you do is you put mom in the working mom desk in the play yard, and then the kids stay away from the working mom. It was like I was making a joke because I saw a reel. It was funny. So anyways, the play yards are coming in at number 3. They are super popular now, especially if you don't want to live in Gate World and instead you want a play yard. But unless you have a really big house, play yards are tough. So, okay, coming in at number 2 is toddler beds out of the furniture department. These sell so well, guys. And that's because, again, they are well made, they last long, they're durable, and the kids don't use them that long. So this was my favorite one from this season. It was the pirate ship. I was so excited that the pirate ship was on my floor. I probably didn't put it on social media enough to express how excited I was about the toddler beds being on the floor. We sold all 8 toddler beds. So they come in at 100%. So that was amazing. That was amazing. Okay. Oh, also a quick disclaimer when it comes to play yards, some people choose that instead of pack and plays. So there are a lot of pack and plays that got put in the play yard category by accident. So it was actually a pack and play tagged as a play yard. So again, the consigners do the tagging, I just do the reporting. All right. So we're coming in with number 1. I sold 100% of these, all 10 of them. Anybody guess what it is? It's bath stools. Oh man, this is hysterical. Because we had 10 stools on the floor and 10 of them sold. So again, it's a smaller number, which is why we hit 100%, and it's stools. Like everybody can use an extra stool. So it's one of those things that you might not think to sell with us. But they all sell very well. Again, they last way longer than the children. And everybody needs a stool. I have literally 2 of them. I have one in my kitchen. I have 3 because we have one in both bathrooms. And so and my kids are big kids, but we still have stools around in case we need them. So again, not going to be your cash cow. You're not going to we only made $70 by selling 10 of these. My report tells me that. So we sold all 10 of these, and it was $70 worth of product, where like the play yards was $1,800 worth of product. So you want to, when we look at this list, again, strollers, $4,000, right? So when we're looking at our top 10 list, what we really want to do is we're like, okay, stools are going to sell, right? But are we actually going to make a lot of money off of them? Maybe not, right? So let's just be aware of what is selling and what is making money, okay? So because this is we have this conversation about stools, and we have these weird things on the list, like pack and plays, play yards. Are they pack and plays or play yards? What are they? I think it was appropriate to pull the 11 through 20 list. Okay. And so this is not in backwards order. This is the 11th number, the 11th item that sold well in Pittsburgh was the pack and plays. And we sold 60 of the 69. And I'm pretty sure we had a couple more than that. So again, the play yards and the pack and plays are probably interchangeable when they were being tagged by consigners. But we sold 87% of the pack and plays. We sold 86% of diapers. Diapers sell so well at our sale, mostly because you've got half of a ream of the 2s because they moved on to 3s. And so you tape it up, you label them Huggy size 2, and the diapers sell so well, especially especially the swim diapers in the spring. Okay. Boys hats. I don't understand it, you guys. Boys hats. They came in at 86%. So apparently you're buying hats for your boys. And it's interesting because it's boy hats, right? And that makes sense, right? The baseball caps. Toy boxes came in at 86%. We sold 25 of the 29. Kitchen dinnerware. So that's selling. So if you have like the plates and the sippy cups and things like that, those are selling really well. We sold 86% of the dinnerware, 85% of the kids' tables and chairs. I'm actually surprised that number is so low. Because those tables and chairs in the toy room, they just sell really well. Play tents came in at 85%. Puzzles came in at 85%. I love this number. And that it's because one of the reasons I love it is because you're not always promised that all the pieces are going to be there, but you don't care. The prices are so great. You want to take the risk. So I know we got a couple puzzles this season. So puzzles sell really, really well at Sunflower. And then the baby walkers came in at 84%. And then kitchens and dollhouses, which is one category. We sold 75 of the 89, coming in at 84%. So kitchens and dollhouses do phenomenal. Again, those are items that last way longer than your kids need them. And so it's really great for them to go to another family. Okay. So this is that example of that kitchen. The kitchen helper that I was talking about, and the one on the left is tagged miscellaneous. These did both sell. So again, this would have been 100% sell-through rate. I have a feeling actually the one on the right is probably labeled stool. Okay. And the one on the left is labeled miscellaneous. So these two do count in that stool count. They both sold. So again, those are really great. All right. So what is not selling in Pittsburgh? Guys, this is the stuff that doesn't sell. Now, that being said, it's sold. I sold some of it. Humidifiers came in at 38%. I sold 3 of the 8. Maternity clothes have always been near the bottom. We have been talking about this forever. I have some sister sales who they give it away for free because it brings in the new parents. But maternity clothes are not going to be your cash cow. I sold 47% of the maternity clothes, which isn't horrible, but again, it's better than a garage sale, but still not, but it's a lot of money. It's almost $3,500. So yeah. Okay. Coming in at number 8, 8th from the bottom is bed rails. These are tricky. Normally, most kids don't need them. Sometimes it's a special circumstance. They don't always work well. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not going to lie. My kids did not use bed rails. I would have put a mattress on the floor before I used a bed rail. I don't trust them. And I think they're just really awkward and hard. And I think they break super easily. So we have some on the floor. They just don't sell well. Bed rails came in at 48%. Changing tables came in at 50%. We sold 5 of the 10. Part of the problem with this is they're heavy and they're awkward and we have to get them home. It's the same thing with cribs. It's like they get them there and they have to get them home. And do I really need a changing table? Remember, most of the people shopping with us are having a second or third kid. And so once you get to your second or third kid, you don't need a changing table anymore. You change them on the floor or on the couch or on a bed. I don't think I ever used a changing table child for like 2 through 6. You just don't take the time to walk up to the nursery or into the nursery to change the baby on the changing table. So the changing table is one of those things I don't think that you should ever own. Regardless if it's your first or second or 15th, or if it's a girl or a boy, or I just don't think that a changing table is a good use of your money. And the pro moms are proving it here. So remember, the people who shop with Sunflower Sprouts, most of them, the demographic, they have 2 to 4 children. And so this is not what they're just not buying the bed rails or they're not buying those either, but they're not buying the changing tables. All right. Coming in at, what number are we on? 6. Nursery bedding sets. Again, remember the demographic. These people, they don't need a nursery. because we already set the nursery up for our first child. We're not doing it for our second and third. That's okay. And we just don't have a need for those. We're spending our money on other things. We know that our money, we want it to go to other places, and we don't want it to go on our nursery bedding sets. So those are not selling well. 51%. We have worked really hard at Sunflower Sprouts to display them better, just to make sure that it's not us. But again, it's super important to recognize our demographic and who is shopping with us, and they aren't creating nurseries. The first time moms are getting these at their baby showers. Okay. All right. Infant shoes. Guys, infant teeny tiny shoes are not selling. Same thing. Demographic. We're not putting as a pro mom tip, we're not putting our second, third, and fourth kids in infant shoes. We're lucky if they have socks on. In the winter, my kids had the zip up onesies, the footsies. Like, those infant shoes, while they are one of the cutest things on our floor, they're not selling. They do not hold their value. Okay. So again, super cute, fun baby shower gift, crappy investment of your money. All right. That was 5. 4 is toddler bedding. Again, this is tricky, right? It has to be the right character. And most of us aren't spending money on our toddler's bed. We're spending money on their shoes and their clothes and their food. And then we're using our money to do other fun things with our kids. Go to the zoo, play, go to the pool. We're not spending on their bedding anymore because we don't care, because we're doing other things. Okay. All right. This one makes me so sad. Adult reading level books. Number 3. So this fall, we're going to have a whole mom row. It's going to have adult books. It's going to have Stanley's, Yetis, Awalas. It's going to have big shoes. It's going to be a bunch of stuff for mom. We're super excited. So we are going to all sell our Yetis and our Awalas and our Stanleys that we're not using anymore. And it's going to be a whole aisle over by the cash registers of stuff for mom. And we're super excited about it. So we're going to move the adult reading books over there and keep selling those to each other because we're all still reading them. So, but unfortunately, they're still selling at 57%, which is still better than a yard sale. If you sold 50% of your adult books at your yard sale, you would be so happy. So, I just don't think they have a great location back in the back. And they don't have great signage. So we're going to work on that in the fall. And then, and we're going to sell those. Yeah. See, Jen agrees with me. And she's got a couple of kids too. So 100% on the changing tables and infant shoes. So, all right. We're still going to keep selling adult books. I'm not going to give up. I think it's brilliant. So we're just going to expand the mom department. Okay. Okay. The stroller number 2, this would be the stroller car seat combos. And so not the strollers or the car seats, but the combos. And this is really tricky. Part of the reason is because you have to buy the consignor is forcing you to buy both the car seat and the stroller. And normally they have a high price point. And a lot of times you don't want those two together, even though they're sold together. So they want to sell them together. So it's just one of those things. It's one of those, it has a smaller shopper market. So anyways, the combos are not selling as well. However, we sold 107 of the 180 at 59%. So again, still really great. And then coming in 10th from the bottom is cribs. Yeah, we don't really have to talk about it, do we? I sold 39 of the 40. I sold 30 of the 49, coming in at 61%. They're just so tricky to buy. And that's one of those things that if you need a crib and it's your second, third, or fourth kid, you want to pay dirt. You don't want to pay a lot of money for a crib. If it's your first time, you probably got one on from your baby showers, on your registry, paid a buttload of money for it when you didn't need to. Because again, cribs, unless you have a kid who chews on the handrail, which they make plastic covers for that, cribs should last through 50 kids. But we're spending too much money on cribs as first-time moms. That's what I have to say about that. Maybe I do have more to say about baby registries than I thought. All right, so those are the bottom 10. Let's talk an overall kind of Pittsburgh. So boy clothes versus girl clothes. Okay, so our boy clothes, it appears that our boy clothes sell better. And it's true. They do. Statistically, the boys' clothes sell better than the girls' clothes. But the point that I really want to make is, first of all, 82% and 77%, it's off the hook, you guys. The fact that we sold 82% of our boy clothes and 77% of our girl clothes is mind-boggling. Okay. So let's not lose the baby in the bathwater. We're doing amazing. Okay. Like these sell-through rates are off the hook. But let me talk just very briefly about why boys' clothes have a higher sell-through rate than girls' clothes. And it has to do with the numbers underneath. Okay. So we had 19,541 pieces of boy clothes come into the building. Okay. I'm sorry. We had 23,700 items come into the building. Okay. Boys' clothes, things labeled boys' clothes. Now remember, the consigners do the tagging, I do the reporting. So 23,700 items came in for boys' clothes. 28,696 girl items came in. So we're talking, 5,000 more girl items came into the building than boy items. So there's just more girl stuff. Okay. You can visually see that when you're standing in the building. Okay. Now, why is there more girl stuff? Well, first of all, girls are not as rough on their clothes as boys are. Okay. So when my consigners are going through their stuff to resell, there's way more girl stuff that's in great condition to sell than there is boy stuff. Okay. As a boy mom, I can attest to this. This is why everyone's like, gosh, there's just, when I went shopping, there wasn't a lot of boy stuff like 6, 7, 8, 9 T sizes 6, 7, 8, 9. There's just not a lot of clothes. Like they're just not well, it's because our boys are playing in the mud, sliding in the grass, jumping off the trees. Like they're just really hard on their clothes. And that is the reason that you're going to see this at all of these consignment sales. You're going to have the same problem. So let me tell you this. Okay. If you do have clothes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the boy department, they are going to sell very well. You can price those higher than normal because they're at a high demand. You can walk into a brick and mortar and that's what they will buy. Okay. If you walk into a brick and mortar with boys, 3-month clothes, they're not going to buy those because they have an abundance of 0 to 3 and 3 to 6 clothes that people bring in. Now, let's also talk about baby showers. Okay. So if somebody they've announced it, oh, I'm having a boy, or oh, I'm having a girl. If they announce, oh, I'm having a boy, guess what they're going to get? They're going to get trucks and cars and baseballs, right? If they're having a girl, oh my gosh, let's get her bows and dresses and outfits and cute clothes. And then we've got an abundance of girl clothes to get rid of that are 0 to 3, 3 to 6, and 6 to 9. Okay. So if we were to actually do a breakdown of the sizes, right, that would be super interesting. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I can do sell-through rate by sizes. We'll look into that. We'll see if we can pull it because that would be super interesting. And that's probably what I would, when I talk about baby showers and registries, that's what I would talk about because we're spending money on, it's fun. Don't get me wrong. Right. I love it. And the bows are great. And it's super fun. But what's happening is then we have this abundance of girl clothes out in the world that are either getting trashed or they're just not selling. So anyways, I just wanted to explain those numbers a little bit, and that's always going to be the case. Okay. So our boy clothes are going to sell better because, especially as a boy mom, like as a girl mom, I needed like 3 pairs of pants. As a boy mom, I needed 6 pairs of pants because the boys were going to wear through those pants faster. Does that make sense? So, okay. Boy coats and girl coats, we're seeing, great, again, amazing sell-through numbers, same exact situation. Okay. But coats is one of the categories that we separate. Okay. But look at those numbers, guys. I mean, our raincoats, they sold like hotcakes. And then swim. Our swimsuits sell phenomenal. It's very hard on Sunday to come in and find coats and swimsuits, raincoats and swimsuits, because they just sold so well earlier in the week. So that is how Pittsburgh came in. I think I have one more. Yeah, shoes. Let's do shoes. Whoops, wrong screen. And then I'll bring Erie onto the stage for the last 15 minutes. Okay, so boy shoes and girl shoes, 80%. You guys, 80% of our shoes. What? That's bonkers. Those numbers are phenomenal. I'm so happy with those numbers. Again, way more, way higher than a garage sale. Way higher than a garage sale. So the other thing that we did is most of you were happy about, so thank you for the feedback, is we did expand the shoe department. So we brought in more tables and spread them out. And then we're even going to go one step further with the big shoes, the 6+ adult over departments in the fall. We're going to move some of those to the mom aisle. And yeah, shoes are doing very well. Now, these are not infant shoes. These are kid shoes. Okay. So infants size 1, 2, 3, and 4 did not sell well. Remember, they're in our bottom 10. But other shoes like these phenomenal rain boots. Look at those Hunters. It's my best story. Before I even bought, Ellie had a pair of Hunter boots that we got so cheap. So cheap. Look at these numbers. Puzzles and books, 85% and 80%. Guys, books and puzzles are your cash cows. This is where it is. This is also a season that I discovered that Paper Pie, is that how you say it? Paper Pie is the same as Usborne, but it's the new name. So we had a phenomenal selection of Usborne books. If you're not familiar with Usborne books or Paper Pie books, they are phenomenal. Their content is amazing. Their quality is fabulous. I love to buy them resale because they have a high price point, but they have a high price point for a reason. They're a great product. And so it is so fun to be able to find these books at our sale. So if you've never shopped with us before and you like these name brand books at discount prices, come and check them out. Okay. Great sell-through rates. Those are they're phenomenal sell-through rates. So, oh man, let's add ERIE to the stage. ERIE's sell-through rate is a little smaller. It's still a little baby sale. We've been in Pittsburgh for 15 years. Guys, we're about to have our 15th anniversary in Pittsburgh this fall. We're going to have a big party. Don't miss it. ERIE has had 3 years. 3, 2.5, 3, 3.5. It's a little baby sale. Okay. So, we need to kind of remember that. And it's also smaller sample numbers. So, for example, I don't have the big number, but I like, as far as like the item count. So 60%, how did I get to 60%? Oh, Adam gave me that number, right? But he's going to kill me because I'm going to guess at these numbers and they're going to be wrong. Also, birds are so mean to each other. We've been bird watching here this May. They fight. And they're fighting right out my window right now. Although I did see my first Baltimore Oriole. Julie, if you're watching, it was amazing. I need to put some more watermelon out because they like fruit. Okay, anyways, I digress. It's a significant less number of items. So we had probably, I think we just almost hit 100,000 in Pittsburgh. I think we were like 98,000 items in Pittsburgh this season. And in ERIE, I think we're at 30. So way different sample numbers when we're looking at the numbers and the statistics. You know, the more items that you have, the more the more the statistics are kind of like accurate, if you will, because you lose room for human error. But when we're dealing with 30,000 items, there's more room for human error. Also, these are younger consigners, meaning they're inexperienced. They haven't been tagging as long as my Pittsburgh consigners. So there is more room for error in their tags. Not a big deal, but again, just a couple things to hold sacred. So ERIE had a 60% sell-through rate, which is still phenomenal. Way better than you're going to do at a garage sale. If you sold 60% of your stuff at a garage sale, you would go out to dinner to celebrate with your cash, right? Our average check in ERIE was $300 for consigners. And there were some that were way more than that. $400, $500, $600. So people are doing way more than going out to dinner with their Sunflower Sprouts earnings. Okay, so let's look at the ERIE numbers. This is our top 10 for ERIE. Coming in at number 1, potties. It's so weird for me. We sold 21 out of the 25, but it does kind of actually make sense, right? But again, not our cash cow. It was $139 worth of stuff, right? Coming in at number 2 was the toy room. We should have gone backwards. Play tents. I sold 10 of the 12. I think that those are just fun in the summer. I think that might be one of the reasons that they sold. The play yards, 13 out of the 16. Again, this also kind of gets mixed up with pack and plays. Again, coming in at number 4 on both lists, bikes and tricycles. Here's number 5, super weird. boys socks. But I do think the other thing that's on this, so pack and play is number 6 again. So 3 and 6 are very interchangeable when it comes to what do I tag my stuff on. But then let's look at number 7, kids bedding, twin and full. And then let's look at socks. And I think we had I think we had a nonprofit come in and purchase some bedding for some foster kids. And so, when we're looking at that, that's because they don't normally sell. So we were very excited to see 10 of the 13 kids bedding items sell, and then 45 of the 57 socks. But again, the socks was $158. That's it. We sold 45 socks and made $158. So again, not a cash cow, right? The pack and plays brought in over $1,000. So like, yeah, you can try to sell your socks, but again, they're not going to make you the money that your pack and play is going to. Okay. All right. So number 8 is coming from the garage and outside. Again, these are our large outdoor toys. These are our slides. These are our sandboxes. The bounce house was last season, right? What did we have? Do we have a playground or a little playhouse this season? Yeah. So those large outdoor toys, they're going to sell quick. They're going to sell fast. They're going to sell well. So price those high to sell because they'll sell. Sorry. All right. Baby walkers. Again, these are phenomenal. This is one of those items you want to have for kids 2, 3, or 4 is the walker, but it's probably something you got rid of after baby 1 because it just takes up so much space in the storage and you don't want to store it. And so baby walkers they sell very well every season and both sales. Number 10 is again an outlier. This is bathtubs, 22 of the 29. But it's one of those things too that and those only made $270. They're normally really cheap. You should never pay more than $5 or $10 for a baby bathtub ever, not even for your first one. But now there's all these new ones that take temperature and they drain. And now the bath is the baths are really important to the baby's bedtime routines now. I mean, I cleaned my kids when they were dirty and every couple of days. I never gave them a bath every single day just for their skin's health. So again, but it's this new thing where they're yeah. So now they want to have tubs everywhere. The new moms, they want to have them at grandma's house and their neighbor's house, and they want to have tubs everywhere. So the infant tubs are selling well. So that's good news. All right. The ERIE top. So let's do because these are some weird ones like socks, let's do the next 10 just so we have an understanding of the big picture. Rocking chairs. Those sell phenomenal. High chairs, they always sell great. Those sold at 71%. Strollers sold at 71%. Diapers, again, on both lists, 70%. Miscellaneous. I hate that category. But we need to have it. So it's sold 70% of our miscellaneous items. And sometimes if a consignor is just lazy and they don't care, they just put it all under miscellaneous. And I don't care, but they do the consigning. They do the tagging. I do the reporting. All right. Baby slings came in at 54%. Those are phenomenal to buy used. So smart to buy used. The bouncy seats and Exa saucers came in at 67%. Again, those are phenomenal to buy secondhand or have one upstairs or one downstairs. Wall art and pillows always sells well in ERIE, but not so much in Pittsburgh. Swimsuits came in at 67%. Phenomenal. I mean, it's just amazing that we're selling the swimsuits. That's just so great. And then educational toys. So educational toys is coming in this high on the list. It doesn't normally come in this high on the list, but this is the reason why is this picture right here. We had a phenomenal Love Every section in ERIE this season. Phenomenal. And it all sold. And so I know it's coming in at 67%, but that's because there was other stuff that was tagged educational. But a lot of this Love Every stuff, they tag it the consigners tag it educational because it's a gender neutral toy, and their Love Every is huge on education. So anyways, phenomenal. It was just amazing. The Love Every section in ERIE was amazing. And a lot of it sold. So Lucy has a question. Can you select which items are 50% on certain days? Are all the items you sell automatically 50%? So discount day is on Saturday in Erie, and in Pittsburgh, it's nope, sorry. Pittsburgh, it's Saturday and Sunday. Erie, it's just on Sunday. And as a consignor, you can determine whether or not your item is 50% off on those days or not. All the details are on my website, or Lucy, you can send an email to hello@sunflowersprouts.org and we will explain it all to you there. Okay. Great question. All right. Erie's bottom 10. Guys, the junior clothes are not selling in Erie at all. Boys and girls are both on this list. Maybe they just don't know about us yet. Maybe, I don't know, they're shopping somewhere else. Cribs are on both bottom lists. Girls' accessories, adult books, both lists. Bums me out. Maternity clothes on both lists. Dancewear, guys, just give it to somebody. It doesn't sell well. Toddler bedding is on the bottom of this list. Yeah, it was kids bedding on the top 10. And then DVDs, nobody uses them anymore with all our streaming services. And although if you have one in your car, it's a great place to buy our DVDs. Toddler and kid room decor. So that's our bottom 10 for Erie. Clothes have the same story in Erie as they do in Pittsburgh. Boy clothes are selling at 53%. Girls clothes are selling at 46%. You can see same story, different event. Way more girls' clothes are coming into the building than boys' clothes. 8,591 girls' clothes, 5,993 boys' clothes. So it's ridiculous. It's so crazy. And then coats, same story. Swim, same story. Okay. Whoops, wrong screen. Shoes, 51%. It's phenomenal. I'm really happy with that sell-through rate. I do need it to go up as Erie continues to grow and get bigger. It will. I'm not worried about it. But I think it's funny that they came in, both Pittsburgh and Erie, shoes came in at the same percentage. So everyone is buying shoes is the point. Okay. Puzzles and games, or puzzles and books, both selling phenomenal as well. Okay. It was a fun season up in Erie. I got to be on Erie News Now. My daughter went to prom, and we partnered with the Erie Blood Bank. And a bunch of people gave blood and then got a voucher. So it was such a fun season in Erie. A couple of things going on. So I'm sorry I didn't get to see a lot of you on Thursday night when you came in to shop in Erie. But look at her. She's gorgeous. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. We're graduating. Oh, she graduated. It's going to be fine. We worked with some phenomenal nonprofits. The Bethany Outreach Center, the Erie Free Store, Operation Christmas Child got a significant number of stuffed animals and little trinkets. Mercy Center for Women stopped by. St. Joe's Thrift Store. Souls for Jesus came and got their shoes yesterday. Boxes of shoes went to Souls for Jesus. And then the Friends of Erie County Library. You can see all those books are getting ready for the Great American Book Sale. Yeah. So the Erie Library got a lot of our books. So excited to work with these nonprofits. We love it. It was a great season. We gave away a lot of stuff. So I always love when my family gets to come up. So up to Erie and hang out with us. We get an Airbnb and we make a week of it. So much fun. If you're still here, gosh, I get emotional every time I talk about these two ladies. They're phenomenal. I can't do what I do without Jen Hill and Allie Sanders. And I'm so glad Allie got to come up to Erie. This was her first time up in Erie. She got to see everything and check it all out. Super, super grateful for who they are and what they do. For those of you who don't know, they work with me in the off season. They have part-time jobs with me. We do a lot. We do everything behind the scenes. And as we continue to grow and get bigger, these two are essential to the process. So shout out to them and thank you so much to them. I love them both to pieces. Thank you to our sponsors this past season. If you want to sponsor next season, you just reach out to us at hello@sunflowersprouts.org. Obviously, Pittsburgh and Sinai Sports are the two locations that we have our events in. We are incredibly blessed to have two phenomenal venues where we can have this. They're so good to us. We're so thankful for them. And actually, we get to hang out with the family from Sinai Sports. The owners, we're going to camp this summer. So we're super, super excited to bring our families together. This is way more than a consignment sale for us. So So thankful to General Rental, who continues to give us our tables, where we rent our tables from in Pittsburgh. If you're having a party and you need anything, General Rental is your place. Also, Once Upon a Star and Next Year Bank, we're so thankful for them for partnering with us. We did a podcast with Jen from Once Upon a Star, or Upon a Star Travel and Concierge, I think 3 weeks ago. It was such a fun podcast. Jen and I know each other from high school. We go way back, and we talked about what not to do when traveling with kids. It was so much fun. So, all righty, let's get out of here. Who is ready for fall 2025? Jen, slow down. Let's enjoy our summer. June is here. Make sure that you spend some time just relaxing. But in the meantime, after you do a load of laundry, if you find something that's too small, start to pull that stuff out and put it in a box, and save yourself some time later on. Okay, Pittsburgh is going to be September 11th through the 14th. Erie is going to be October 4th through the 5th. Consignor registration for both is going to open in a few weeks. If you have hung on this long, thank you so much for hanging on with me. Top secret information. Pittsburgh's registration is going to open the week before 4th of July. Then I'm going to have my daughter's graduation party the week of 4th of July. And then the week after 4th of July, we're going to open up Erie. Okay. So way to go, Jen. 3 bins for fall already. Way to go. And I was not telling myself, way to go. There's another Jen. Way to go, Jen. You're doing great. Okay. So if you've hung this long in the podcast, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I know it went a little bit over an hour, but there are some sneak peeks as to when registration is going to be open. Make sure you're following us on social. Make sure you're getting our emails. If you want to shop at our event and get incredible deals on shopping, head over to our website, get on our mailing list, stay up to date on all things sunflower. If you're ready to get rid of the kid stuff that's taking up space in your house, get a box, get a bin, or dump out a laundry basket and just start collecting, and then register to sell with us this fall. So many gens. So many gens. Have a great day.